What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and I'm here today with a review for Black and Crew Chicago. This is season 6, it's episode 3, and it's titled World's Best Dad. So, you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump right into the video. Alright, you guys, so the episode we see it start out at Second City Inc. So we see Charmaine, she's with her crew, and the crew wants to teach Charmaine how to tattoo because it would be beneficial for her since she owns a tattoo shop to know how to tattoo. I'm like, that's a good idea. And what better way to learn than with a bunch of tattoo artists? I'm like, cool. That is a good idea. Something that Nine Mag never did. But they didn't value Charmaine, obviously. So then, Charmaine also tells the crew, like, hey, you guys, I'm pregnant. And they're like, what? She's like, yes, I'm pregnant. And I'm like, how far along are you? She says, I'm 4 months. I'm like, wow. Like, you can tell, I'm like, Charmaine's titties, again, sorry, no offense, but Charmaine's titties are huge. So, Jess is talking to the crew. She's like, okay, how about we do this? Like, she says, I want to have a party so that way we can all get to know each other. And they're like, she can't drink. She's like, I know that. Like, so it'll just be like a slumber party where we just, have fun and once again, get to know each other. So then we see Charmaine. So Charmaine is at home and she's making Haitian food for Neek, and, for her, Neek and his mama. And Neek is just like, what do you like? Why can you come to me about this? Like, she's like, I think Charmaine wanted it to be a surprise. And then she was talking about how she found some recipes online. He's like, what recipes did you find? I'm like, exactly, Charmaine. I'm like, why would you? You know how judgmental Neek's mama is. Why would you go online and find some recipes? Why not just go to your husband and ask him for some, how to cook certain foods that are for Haitians? But, it is what it is. I'll give Charmaine an A for effort and an F for execution, however. So, then his mama comes in and, Charmaine is getting the food ready. And she's talking to Neek, and she's still talking about how the fact that they did things the wrong way. I'm like, they didn't do things the wrong way. They didn't do things in the way that you wanted it done. But Charmaine and Neek are officially married. They went to the courthouse. They got married. They have a marriage license. So in the eyes of the law and in the eyes of God, although they didn't go to a church like his mama wanted him to, they're still technically, legally, and spiritually married lady. So then Charmaine, brings the food to her, and she's like, "Oh, these are on paper plates." My accent, I know, is bad, and I'm like, I felt the exact same way. I felt the exact same way that Charmaine felt. I'm stuttering over my words, but I felt the same way she felt. Charmaine's whole thing was when it came down to the whole eating on the paper plates was Charmaine didn't want to wash no dishes, and she's like, "You don't feed your guests off of paper plates." I feed my guests off of whatever the fuck I have. If I don't want to wash the dishes, you're eating off of paper plates, drinking from a styrofoam cup, and eating with plasticware. If I don't want to wash the dishes. Now, if my guest says, "Hey, I will wash up after myself," then fine. I will get you some, some glass. Get you a glass, drinking glass, my good silverware, I'll get you all that shit. But if you're not cleaning up, you're not getting it. Like, now that shit, that really kind of, I'm like, really? She doing this? So then she starts to eat the food, and she's like, oh, this is dry and it's too salty. Let me try this. Oh, it's dry. It's too salty. I'm like, damn, but I mean, she's Haitian, and Haitian moms are, you get what you get. But I did feel bad for Charmaine. And Charmaine, she got up and walked away because she was upset. And I'm like, I definitely understand why Charmaine walked away because that would have pissed me off too. So I understood Charmaine. So I wasn't even mad at Charmaine at all with that situation. But let's move on. All right, so next we are over at 9 Mag. So, Ryan, he is with Mason. I don't know if they were doing some homework or what, but he was with Mason. And it was almost time for Rachel to come get him. So Rachel does come and get him. And before she takes Mason, she's like, hold on, Mason. Me and your dad need to have a conversation. So she and Ryan go into his office and they talk. So, Rachel's like, so what is this that Mason is telling me that you sleeping here at the shop? Like, why? And she's like, we have kids, Ryan. Like, when they're with you, they need to have a home. And when they're with me, same vice versa. So what's going on? She says, I know you can afford it, so what the hell is going on? And he says he's trying to figure out some things, and he says his goal was to fix their relationship so that way he can get back in the home with her and the kids. And Rachel was like, pump your brakes, bruh. So after you do everything, now you want to get smart? Like, really? She says, and then we get the flashback of everything that happened with him and Kat. I'm like, oh my God, let's not bring up this Kat situation again. So, she's like, I get that you now want to make up for what you did, but that doesn't mean that I'm necessarily going to take you back. Now, we are in a good spot. And she says again, we have kids, Ryan, you got to do what's best for the kids. Like, you, like, when you need to have a home for them. Like, a home is not the workplace. You need to have somewhere outside of the workplace for the kids to go to. And, Ryan, I don't know, Ryan just, it feels like Ryan doesn't want to take a lot, take the blame for what happened with Kat. I mean, he has. But it just feels like, he's like, oh, I cheated with Kat. I did this. I'm trying to make up with Rachel, but Rachel, she doesn't want to make up with me, so now I got to figure out what I'm going to do. Wait a minute. I mean, we're just going to move on with that one. So then we see Jess, and it was Fly Tat, and I can't remember what the other guy's name is. So they go into the west side, and, Jess is just asking them, so, like, what is the west side like? Do you get robbed over here? Do this happen to you? Do people jack your cars? Do people shoot at you? Do people do this kind of shit to you? Because she saw it on, portrayed in movies. And they're like, some of that stuff that you see in there in the movies, not all true. So then, they ask her about London and what they do for New Year's. For New Year's, she says, we get drunk. They're like, oh, with us, people get their guns, load them up, boom, shoot them in the air. I'm like, how stupid is that? Why would you take a gun and shoot it in the air? You do know that those bullets come back down, right? And they come back down with more force. I don't understand why people do that. Because I'm pretty positive they would just be shooting up in the air like this. You don't do that. At least shoot in an angle and away from people. At least shoot in an angle. At least shoot away from people and in an angle. Because you do know that the bullets, like I said, the bullets come back down with force. But, they go hang out. And they get to know one another. And we learn a little bit more about Fly Tatted. I believe that's who it was we learned about. He has 9 brothers and sisters. One of his brothers passed away because he was shot at a club. And he actually died in his arms. I'm like, damn. Now that is scarring right there, to have one of your siblings die in your arm. Wow. My condolences to him. And then we also got our little emotional tattoo moment from Ryan. I'm not going too deep into that tattoo moment. I will say that it was a dope ass tattoo. And that's basically it. So we're going to move on. Alright, so next we have Dre and Zach. So Dre and Zach go on their first official date with one another. So, they talking to each other, and, they're talking about how they want to keep the relationship sort of between them. Because Dre, like, how guys are, like, when you got your girl, you show on, your homies, especially your homies at your job, your girl. So she doesn't want that to happen because it's actually, this is the first time she's ever talked to someone that she's worked with. And, she just wants to keep it on the low, at work, that is. But outside of work, they can, figure out what is going to be between them. And Zach is like, wait, he got you. I'm like, no, he does not got you. I'm like, Zach looks like the type that is jealous. And we'll get into that a little later. But I'm like, that is not going to happen with Zach. Zach just looks like he's a pretty boy. But he definitely looks like he's conceited. He's cocky. And he looks like if anybody looks at something that he thinks is his, he gonna flip the hell out. So then we see Don. So Don is at the crib with, his boys. And then 4 comes over. So I guess this is like a little daddy daycare for 4 to see if he really wants to have kids. Those little boys ran 4 ragged. I will say that. But I mean, like Don said, there is no rule book for being a parent. You learn as you go. And that's the truth. You learn as you go. I don't know that I don't personally know that, but I know with my mom, she did not know what to do with me, but she learned as she went along. So I agree with Don in that situation. Wasn't really much with that. Let's move on. So let's move over to Charmaine. So Charmaine went back home, and Nick's mom was, in there cleaning the dishes, and Charmaine's like, I'm hungry. Oh, that's right. The food wasn't that good, was it, huh? So then, Charmaine was like, you know what? I do love you, and I do appreciate what you're doing for me and Nick, but Nick is my husband, and you have to treat me with respect. And she says, well, first of all, you need to get over everything, and you need to back the hell off from like Charmaine. Kudos to you. And I know Charmaine doesn't want to disrespect her, but if you don't say something now, you're going to let, like, things like this will just progress throughout you and Nick's marriage. So it's good that Charmaine said something to her mother-in-law when she did. Like, stop it now before it grows and grows and grows and grows. Now, here's what got me off about, Nick's mama. Nick's mama was like, I'm just worried about my grandchild and, her grandchild being in good hands. And I'm like, wow, what the hell does that mean? Because, we all know Charmaine is loud. We all know Charmaine likes to party. We all know Charmaine is a turn-up queen. But I think Charmaine would tone that down for her child. Like, I really did think, I'm like, that is kind of horrible, a bad thing to say to her. Like, you think she's going to, neglect her child? What do you think she's going to do to her child? Like, that is her child. And I'm glad Charmaine said, like, this is my child. This is my child with Nick. Like, you raise your kids. Let me raise my child. Like, I'm cool with you, being in the baby's life, doing whatever, but this is my child. Let you raise your kids. Let me raise my kid. And of course, I'm gonna make mistakes, but what parent doesn't? She says, when you became a parent, you didn't know what to do. Same for me. I don't know what I'm doing, but I will learn as time goes on. And I was like, damn, Charmaine made a lot of sense. She really sounded mature. Like, I'm actually liking this side of Charmaine. Like, who would have thought? Who would have thought? So, Nick's mama apologizes to her. They both say, what, I love you. And they said, let's leave it right here. Let's nip it in the bud. Let's be done with it. Cool. So then we see Ryan. So Ryan, he is bonding with Mason. And, Mason is becoming a man. You can hear his little voice is deeper. He's talking about how he doesn't want to get face hair because he don't want to shave. Woo, man. Shaving is no joke, but it was really nice to see that. And so Ryan is telling Mason that, what, I'm going to go get a place for me and you. He says, so what do you want? He says, I want a pool and I want my own room. And Ryan says, a pool? Like, I'm just getting a place for now. Get an apartment, Ryan. Whatever. And then lastly, to top off the episode, you guys, so we see the slumber party. Everybody's there. Fly Tatty shows up with some girl, and they were like, so who's your girlfriend? He says, that's not my girlfriend. So then we see, Zach, he's flirting with Drea, and it's not subtle at all. I'm like, Drea, why did you literally believe that he could keep y'all's relationship between you two? He clearly can't. So then they started playing a steamy game of truth and dare. I think somebody played it was somebody got a truth. It was some kind of sexual question. I forgot what it was. Zach pulled a dare where somebody had to lick whipped cream from his body. It was Dre. He chose Dre. I'm like, surprise, surprise. So then, they start twerking and having a good time. So Fly Tatted, he just, slapping Dre's ass. And here comes the jealousy. And Zach got so pissed off that he and Fly are just getting into it with each other. I'm like, are you serious? Like, I thought you guys were supposed to keep this under wraps. But here you are freaking out because some dude was just slapping her on the ass. Like, it ain't that deep, my nigga. It is not that deep. But you guys, that was Black Ink Crew Chicago. Be sure to like the video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed to it. Hit the bell notification button, share this video, and I will catch you guys later.